The first thing the human heard was a whisper. "Human, please help me." He stopped walking. The corridor around him was almost completely dark, illuminated only by thin blue strips running along the metallic walls. Somewhere far behind him, alarms were screaming. He slowly turned. There was no one there. "Please." This time, the voice came from behind a maintenance door. The human reached for his sidearm. He had been stationed aboard the orbital city of Prime for 6 months, and in those 6 months, he had learned one important rule about the Galactic Empire. Never investigate a voice calling for help, especially when that voice belonged to royalty. He opened the door anyway, and froze. A young alien woman was pressed against the far wall. She was blue-skinned, with pale silver-blonde hair falling over one shoulder. Her pointed ears were decorated with tiny silver ornaments, and a golden royal collar rested around her neck. But the thing that caught his attention wasn't her appearance. It was the blood running down her arm. She looked terrified. Not angry. Not arrogant. Terrified. Her glowing blue eyes locked onto his. "You're human," she whispered. The soldier lowered his weapon slightly. "Yes." She took one cautious step toward him. "Then I'm safe." He almost laughed. "Princess, if you're hiding in a maintenance tunnel while half the station is searching for you, I wouldn't call that safe." Her expression changed. "You know who I am. Everyone knows who you are." She swallowed. "Then you know what they will do to me." The human looked toward the corridor. The alarms were getting louder. "Who?" "My own people." That answer changed everything. The soldier stepped inside and closed the door. "What happened?" The princess looked at him for several seconds. Then she whispered the words that would eventually change the fate of an entire galaxy. "They are going to kill me." He stared at her. "Why?" "Because I chose you." Silence filled the room. The human frowned. "You chose me for what?" Her voice became almost inaudible. "To protect me." Before he could answer, something slammed into the maintenance door. Both of them turned. A voice came through the metal. "Princess Lyra, open the door." The princess's face went pale. The soldier immediately raised his weapon. The voice continued. "By order of the Imperial Council, you are commanded to surrender." Lyra stepped backward. "They found me." The human looked at the door. "How many?" "Enough." "That's not a number." 20 soldiers. He looked at her. "You said they were going to kill you." "They won't arrest me." "Then what will they do?" Her eyes filled with fear. "They will make my death look like a battlefield accident." The soldier's expression hardened. He activated his comm. "Control, this is Lieutenant Cole. I have a royal security situation in Maintenance Sector 7. Static answered. Then a voice replied. "Lieutenant, we've received orders to stand down." Cole's eyes narrowed. "From whom?" "The Imperial Council." He looked at Lyra. She already knew. The entire station had been ordered to abandon her. Cole switched off the comm. Lyra stared at him. "They've already taken control." Cole checked the magazine in his weapon. "Looks like it." "You should leave." "No." Her eyes widened. "You don't understand. If you help me, you become an enemy of the Empire." Cole looked at the door. "I've been called worse." The door exploded inward. Smoke filled the corridor. Imperial soldiers rushed through. "Princess." Cole moved first. He grabbed Lyra by the arm and pulled her behind him. Energy bolts tore through the room. He fired 3 controlled shots. 3 soldiers dropped. The others hesitated. That hesitation was enough. Cole kicked a maintenance panel open, grabbed Lyra, and pulled her through the narrow access tunnel. They ran. Behind them, soldiers shouted, "Do not kill the human." Cole heard that. He stopped for half a second. Lyra almost collided with him. "Why aren't they shooting?" She looked at him. "They need me alive." Cole shook his head. "No." He looked back toward the soldiers. "They need you alive long enough to blame me." Lyra's expression changed. She understood. This wasn't an arrest. It was a setup. They weren't hunting a princess. They were creating an enemy. A human enemy. And they had just chosen the wrong human. Cole grabbed her hand. Move. They disappeared deeper into the station. For the next 11 minutes, Lieutenant Cole and Princess Lyra moved through places no royal had ever seen. They crawled through ventilation shafts, crossed abandoned cargo decks, dodged patrols. At one point, Cole had to pull Lyra beneath a transport platform while 6 Imperial soldiers marched past. The princess was breathing rapidly. Cole whispered, "Stay quiet." "I am trying." "You're doing fine." She looked at him. "You aren't afraid." Cole almost smiled. "I am." She blinked. "You are." "Of course." "Then why don't you show it?" He looked at her. "Because you're already scared enough." For the first time since he had found her, Lyra smiled. It lasted only a second. Then the station shook violently. Both of them looked upward. A massive explosion lit the windows at the end of the cargo deck. Cole ran toward them. Outside the station, dozens of Imperial warships were taking position. Lyra stared at the fleet. "No." Cole looked at her. "What?" "That is the Imperial 7th Fleet." "How many ships?" 300. Cole slowly turned toward her. 300 ships. She nodded. "They are not here to capture me." Another explosion rocked the station. Lyra looked at him. "They are here to destroy the station." Cole's expression became serious. "How long?" "Until they fire." She looked toward the fleet. 4 minutes. Cole immediately activated his comm. "Emergency channel. This is Lieutenant Cole aboard Vera Prime. Imperial fleet preparing to fire on civilian station." Static. Then silence. He tried again. Nothing. Lyra watched him. "There is no one coming." Cole looked at the fleet. Then at her. "Then we'll have to make them come." "How?" He looked toward the massive communication tower visible through the observation glass. "We reached that." Lyra shook her head. "That tower is controlled by the Empire." "Exactly." They ran. The communication tower was heavily guarded. But Cole wasn't trying to fight his way through. He knew he couldn't defeat an entire Imperial security force. So he did something the Empire didn't expect. He surrendered. When the guards surrounded him, Cole dropped his weapon. Lyra stared at him in disbelief. "What are you doing?" "Trust me." The guards rushed forward. They separated Cole and Lyra. The Imperial commander smiled. "You've made a very serious mistake, human." Cole looked around. "Probably." The commander turned toward Lyra. "Princess, your rebellion ends here." Lyra said nothing. The commander stepped closer. "You have rejected the Imperial succession protocol. You have refused the Council's chosen alliance. And now you've endangered an entire human military delegation." Cole's eyes narrowed. "That's a lie." The commander smiled. "Of course it is." He leaned closer. "But by tomorrow, every world in the Empire will believe it." Cole understood. The Council had planned everything. Lyra had refused to marry the Imperial regent. So they would kill her. Then blame humanity. The Empire would declare war. 300 warships would destroy Vera Prime. Millions would die. And the galaxy would believe humans started it. Cole looked at Lyra. She looked back. Neither spoke. They didn't need to. She understood his plan. Cole suddenly kicked the commander. The room erupted. He grabbed a fallen weapon and fired at the control console. The tower's security systems went offline. Lyra ran to the central terminal. "Can you access the communication network?" "I don't know." "You're human." He stared at her. "That isn't an answer." "It is where I come from." She placed her hand on the console. The system scanned her royal genetic signature. Access denied. Cole stepped forward. "Try again." "It won't work." "Try." She pressed her hand down. The system flashed. Royal authority confirmed. Lyra stared. How? Cole smiled. You're the princess. The communication network activated. For the first time, the entire galaxy could hear them. Lyra stepped toward the microphone. Her voice trembled. This is Princess Lyra of the Varen Empire. Across thousands of worlds, millions of receivers activated. She continued. My government has ordered the destruction of Vera Prime. The Imperial fleet commander immediately attempted to cut the transmission. Cole stopped him. Lyra continued. They will tell you that humanity attacked us. Her eyes hardened. That is a lie. The transmission spread. Every military station, every civilian network, every diplomatic channel. Everyone was listening. Then Lyra said something no one expected. I chose a human. The galaxy went silent. I chose him because when my own soldiers came for me, he was the only person who asked whether I was afraid. Cole looked at her. Lyra continued. He could have left me. He could have surrendered me. He could have saved himself. Her voice broke, but he didn't. The Imperial commander shouted. Cut the transmission. Cole turned toward him. No. The commander drew his weapon. Cole was faster. The shot struck the ceiling. Cole tackled him. The two men crashed into the console. Lyra continued speaking. My empire believes humans are weak because they do not understand them. She looked directly into the camera. I do. She took Cole's hand. Humanity doesn't need an empire. It doesn't need a throne. It doesn't need permission to survive. It only needs a reason to stand. The transmission ended. For 3 seconds, nothing happened. Then every screen in the communication tower turned red. Incoming human transmission. Cole looked at Lyra. I didn't send anything. She shook her head. The screen activated. A human officer appeared. Behind him stood dozens of military commanders. The officer looked directly into the camera. Princess Lyra. Lyra stepped forward. Yes. The officer's expression was calm. You asked humanity for help. Cole stared. The officer continued. You should have asked sooner. Behind him, massive human warships emerged from hyperspace. 1, 10, 100, then hundreds more. The Imperial fleet suddenly stopped moving. Lyra's eyes widened. How many ships? Cole looked at the screen. He smiled. Apparently. He paused. Enough. The human officer continued. Your transmission has been verified. We have confirmed the Imperial attack order. Humanity recognizes the Varen Empire's attempt to manufacture a war. His voice became colder. You attacked a civilian station. You attempted to assassinate a diplomatic royal. And you tried to blame humanity. The screen changed. A massive human fleet appeared behind the station. The officer said one final sentence. Now you have our attention. The transmission ended. The Imperial commander looked terrified. That fleet wasn't here. Cole nodded. No. The commander stared at him. Then where did it come from? Cole looked toward the stars. Earth. The first Imperial ship fired. Humanity didn't fire back. Instead, every human warship activated its shields. The Imperial fleet fired again. And again. Nothing happened. The shields held. Lyra watched from the tower. What are they doing? Cole looked at the tactical display. Waiting. For what? For the Empire to make one more mistake. The Imperial commander ordered his entire fleet forward. 300 warships accelerated. Then the human fleet moved. Not forward. Sideways. The entire formation separated into dozens of smaller groups. The Imperial fleet suddenly found itself surrounded. No human ship fired. Instead, they targeted the engines. One by one, Imperial warships lost propulsion. No explosions. No massacres. Just silence. Cole watched. Humanity isn't here to destroy your empire. Lyra looked at him. Then why are they here? To prove they can. A final Imperial battleship remained. Its commander refused to surrender. He aimed every weapon at Vera Prime. Cole saw it. That's the one. Lyra looked terrified. Can they stop it? Cole nodded. They already did. The human fleet fired. Not missiles. Not lasers. A single electromagnetic pulse swept across space. The battleship went dark. Every weapon shut down. Every engine stopped. The entire Imperial fleet became silent. Humanity had won without destroying a single ship. Then the human commander opened a channel. Imperial fleet. You are surrounded. Stand down. The commander looked at his tactical screen. 300 ships. Surrounded by thousands. He lowered his weapon. Standing down. Across the galaxy, the news spread. The Empire had declared war on humanity. And humanity had answered without firing a shot. Hours later, Vera Prime was safe. The Imperial fleet had surrendered. The council members responsible for the attack had been arrested. But one question remained. Why had Lyra chosen a human? She stood on the observation deck, watching Earth warships disappear into hyperspace. Cole stood beside her. You know, he said, you never actually answered my question. What question? Why me? Lyra smiled. Because everyone else saw you as a soldier. She looked at him. I saw you help an injured alien child before you reported for duty. Cole frowned. You saw that? I saw everything. She stepped closer. You didn't know who she was. You didn't know anyone was watching. You helped her anyway. Cole looked away. That doesn't explain why you chose me. Lyra's expression softened. When I ran from the palace, I asked 23 people for help. Cole looked at her. 23. They all asked who I was. She paused. You were the first person who asked what happened. Cole didn't know what to say. Lyra looked through the glass toward the stars. My empire taught me that power means making others obey you. She turned toward him. Humanity taught me something different. What? That strength means having the power to walk away. She smiled. And choosing to stay. Cole looked at her for a long moment. You know the Empire won't forget this. I know. They'll come back. I know. And next time, there might be an actual war. Lyra stepped closer. Then I suppose I chose the right human. Cole laughed quietly. You're still calling me that. She nodded. Always. Behind them, the stars filled the observation deck. And far away, on Earth, the human fleet began preparing for whatever came next. Because the galaxy had learned something that day. The Veran Empire could command 300 warships. It could control entire worlds. It could frighten billions. But it had made one fatal mistake. It had forced an alien princess to choose between an empire and a human. She chose the human. And when the Empire declared war, humanity chose her.